A few weeks ago, I found the book Circe in my local secondhand bookshop. I started reading Circe by Madeleine Miller. I have heard good things about it. The author is very knowledgeable about this stuff. It's a very small book. I have just started reading it, but it did take me a few weeks because I am very busy right now. I am looking forward for the summer to actually arrive so that I have more time. So far, it's very enjoyable. Not at all what I'm used to, writing style and everything taken into account. So it's not what I'm used to, but it's very interesting. It's also a bit difficult to read because the words are very small. The writing style is a bit more ancient feeling, or at least like old classic feeling, because it's about Greek mythology, so it makes sense. It fits the book very well. I'm not so used to that anymore, so yeah, it takes a bit more time, but also, yeah, I just didn't have time to read it that much. I'm at chapter 14. We'll see what my final judgment of it is. I just finished Circe. Circe was not a fun read. It was very interesting and very different than what I'm used to. I'm not used to reading classics or classic retellings or myth retellings. And yeah, this very old feeling writing style is very foreign to me, especially in English, which is not my native language. It took a lot of time to read for various reasons. Part of it was that I found it a bit difficult to read due to the tiny font of this book. Don't know why it's so tiny, which made it a bit uncomfortable to read. I think the other part of it is that I wasn't prepared for it to be this difficult, also emotionally, because I was kind of expecting it to be maybe more on the fun side, and it was not. There were a few very emotional scenes, and also a few scenes where I felt a bit disturbed. Overall, I would say for plot and story, as in, does the plot make sense? Is the story engaging and unique? Does the story move at an appropriate speed, keeping you interested? Does the editing feel satisfying and complete? Overall, I gave a 4 because, yeah, I felt like this is a really good writer, by the way. I felt like she knows what she's doing. She's very competent and knowledgeable, so I didn't have any problems with the writing style either. Also a 4. Within the category there is also a 5, and so again, it's an average. The characters got on average also a 4. Didn't connect with them that much, so that got a 3. That specific question, I didn't feel personally connected to them or to their motivations. They evolved very well, especially the main character. I think her character development was very interesting and very nice to read. That's actually one of the main points of the book that I would highlight. For the setting also got an average of 4, but yeah, like 3 questions within the setting category, they got 4, 4, and 5. It was amazing. As I said, the writer is very competent. She knows what she's doing. She's very at home with the ancient Greeks and the Greek mythologies. For emotional impact, on average, it got a 3. Again, because I didn't feel emotionally connected to the characters, and therefore the story also wasn't that emotionally moving for me. I did not leave the book thinking about it afterwards. Like, yeah, maybe I had a few passing thoughts about it or something, but I wasn't like obsessed with it or something where I would like think about it before going to bed and dream about it and whatever, which I would for a very good book. It didn't leave a huge imprint in me, let's say. Some things were very satisfying. I think the very end wasn't as satisfying as I hoped it to be. It was kind of predictable. I had an inkling that would happen. That wouldn't be a problem for me in general. That would be okay. I don't have to be surprised by a book's ending all the time. But with this book, while reading it, I felt like it's not really going anywhere. Anyway, in total, Circe got a 3.5. Maybe I'm leaning a bit towards 3 more, but I just don't have the heart, or I'm not totally convinced that it should get a 3. So kind of in between a 3 and a 4, and I feel happy with that. I think it fits. Based on my rating guide, 3 stars would say decent, could have been better, probably won't read it again. If I have a physical copy, I'll donate it. I probably will give it to the library or sell it or something. I would have picked something else. I've read better type. That's not exactly true. I'm glad I've read it. Nothing particularly great, nothing particularly bad, forgettable or average, but a fairly fun read. I don't regret reading, but I wouldn't reread. Yeah, that's basically it. And I confess I really wanted like a fun, light, funny read. So on my e-reader, I read The Strawberry Patch Pancake House by Laurie Gilmore. It's an ebook. I'll put a picture of it here or something. But yeah, The Strawberry Patch Pancake House was very fun, light. I got exactly what I wanted. It was fun to read. I read it in one night. Still, after all, I gave it a 3.75 because you can do that on Storygraph. I was really unsure because it didn't feel like I want to give it a complete 4, but the 3 would be so little for it because I still really enjoyed it. It did what it had set out to do for the genre, absolutely. It was fun, it was entertaining, but there were just a few too many unnecessary things in it, or like, okay, the process of our 2 main characters not really accepting what they are doing, them trying to deny that, trying to convince themselves, them getting together or warming together takes so unnecessarily long. I can remember after the 1000th inner thought of, no, I shouldn't, I was so tired. Like, damn girl, just do it now. Like, you literally want it so much that you can't stop thinking about it, and you keep telling yourself not to do it, but you want to do it. And I'm tired of you whining about it. That was a bit too much. The ending was quite predictable. The writer wanted to put like a twist at the very end. It was predictable and kind of cheap. It was funny, at least, that there was a kind of a meta scene. I don't want to spoil it, but just before that twist, and that made it quite funny to read, actually. So yeah, almost 4. Atmospheric, fun, light read if you're craving that. Though I am, by my own beliefs and views and values, I had some problems with a few scenes, but yeah, that's just my stand. And now for what I'm reading next. I got Bunny, also secondhand because I usually buy secondhand. It was on my to-read list. As you remember, I set out to read the books from my to-read list because it's getting too long and I'm not reading them, just keep adding to them. I might have made a mistake, so to say, because I took out 2 books from the library, which were not on my to-read list. Now they are because I added them. And I am going to read them. One is Appleby Farm, which I thought would be such a fun read for the summer. I know. And I don't know, after Circe, I'm really craving some light reads, so hence why I jumped on the Pancake Patch House immediately and wanted to read it and read it, and hence why when I saw this in the library, I was like, yeah, please give me some light reads. I'm looking forward to it. It sounds very cozy. This is all the books together, by the way, if you're wondering. Here it starts with Blessing in Disguise, and then we progress on to the other parts. This is also the first time in a long time that I'm reading a library book, and it feels so exciting, and the book by the touch just feels like a precious library book. I'm loving it. I didn't know that I'd been craving this feeling of reading a library book. The other book I took out from the library is The Twilight Garden, which also had not been on my to-read list. I added it, but I saw it in the library. I knew I needed to read it. So I had thought it would be also a light, fun read for the summer. It would be perfect for the summer. Because, yeah, you know, it's like about a garden, a community garden. I am going to garden a lot during this summer, so I thought it would fit my life right now and it would match with the summer vibe. Yeah, okay. The first thing I see, the first title is Autumn. Oh my god. So I wasn't prepared for that. Obviously, it goes on to winter. Only the very last part, see here, like very last part is summer. I have to read the whole book for me to finally get to the summer feeling that I was craving. That's not really what I thought it would be. I thought that I would start with this one because the Applebee Farm might be too similar to the Pancake Patch House, Strawberry Pancake Patch House that I had just read. So I thought, for change of pace, I will start with the Twilight Garden and then go on to the Applebee Farm. You can see the bookmark in there. I'm like 5 chapters in or so. So far, I am not hooked in. So far, not much has happened and I'm not very connected to the characters. I think that's the main problem. When I'm reading a book, I really want to be connected to the characters. I want to feel like they are 3-dimensional and interesting. I want to be able to connect to them or relate to them in some way. I don't need them to be like me. I just want to be able to find a link or connection to them where I can relate to them and feel their feelings, care about them. I think that's a good word. Here, I am not really caring about them yet. It doesn't feel like they are very relatable characters to me. I am curious to see how it evolves, see when I will start caring about them, when I will start liking them, or if I won't at all, then that will be interesting. I think that will probably happen when this main character actually starts tending the garden, and then through that I think I will be able to care about him or relate to him. I am waiting for that tipping point, but because it's autumn, I suppose either it will be slow or in the autumn he will start prepping the garden for winter, maybe weeding, or for some beds you have to prepare them for the winter so that plants can already start growing in the spring. Maybe he will do that. I hope he will do that because also it's good for the garden. Second of all, it's better for me, I think, because I wouldn't want to read 2 seasons of him whining and not starting the garden, not really doing anything. So I'm interested to find out what's going to happen and how it will go.